Personal Training, and today I'm gonna show you how to make salmon with quinoa and kale. So first, let me show you the ingredients. I am gonna do a little cheat and use this package of quinoa and kale. I got this at Costco. It has super clean ingredients. If you can zoom in on the ingredients, that's very rare in a packaged food. So I like to have this in the freezer for moments when I need something quick. And everybody knows how much I love kale. Then we're gonna use half a red onion. You can leave this out if you don't like onions. And then wild caught salmon. I also got this at Costco, and I just defrosted it. So first we're gonna preheat this is already preheated, a saucepan, and I have about a teaspoon of coconut oil. We're gonna put that in there and let it melt. And then we're gonna throw in the onions. So this meal is meant to be made super, super fast. You're gonna see how fast it actually can be made. So while that's cooking, we're gonna throw in the quinoa. So we're gonna cut this open. If you've never had quinoa, this is a good way to try it because it is already cooked. So all we have to do is kind of heat it up. So we're gonna throw that in there, and you add 2 tablespoons of water. And we're going to put it on medium heat, and you kind of break it up a little bit because it is a frozen box. I don't know if you can hear me over the onions cooking. So we're going to break that up, and you cover it, and you literally just let it sit and let it do its thing. So while that's happening, we're going to add a little bit of water. I prefer to add water when I'm cooking instead of adding more oil. So it keeps the fat content down. And now we're just gonna add the salmon. I'll cut this open. I'm gonna dump out the juice and that's kind of gross, but you don't have to follow me for that part. All right, so we're gonna add that in. And how I make the salmon, instead of having to worry about if it's cooked, when it starts cooking, I'm gonna break it apart. That way it cooks faster. And then I'm gonna add some chili powder. I don't usually measure. I just kind of throw it in there and then taste as I go. Like I said, this is a quick meal. You can make this super, super quick. This is usually what I make for Ray when he comes home and he's like, I'm hungry. This is like the quickest thing to make. So I'm gonna put that in there, add a little bit more water, and then I'm also gonna cover this. And just gonna let it sit for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you'll be able to break it apart. You'll see what I mean in a couple minutes. Okay, it's been about 1.5 minutes, and you can see it's starting to get pink. So now you can start cutting it. It doesn't have to be pretty, I promise. This is about tasting good and cooking it fast. So if you leave it in one piece, it's gonna take longer to cook. So we're gonna break it up and start mixing it in. You can add more water if you need to. I actually am gonna add a little bit more water, and it helps it like almost steam. And like I said, so you don't have to add more oil, because that's what we want to avoid, because the quinoa already has oil in it. We already added the coconut oil, and then the salmon is a fatty fish, so you don't want to overdo it. And as you can see, it's already cooking pretty fast. So I'm gonna add a little bit more water, just a little bit. If you add too much, you just gotta cook it a little more. It's not gonna kill it. It's not gonna do anything to it. So we're just gonna let that steam, and we're gonna check on the quinoa. Alright, so quinoa is still pretty frozen. I'm a mess. Okay, so we're just gonna keep that covered. Alright, it has been another like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and it's pretty much cooked. You don't wanna overcook it. You're just gonna let it, I'm gonna take it off the heat and wait till the quinoa cooks. So you're just gonna remove it from heat. It is gonna cook a little bit, so you wanna make sure you remove it probably like 30 seconds before it's like actually done. And this is still frozen. So we're just gonna continue. I probably shouldn't be opening it that much. But for the sake of the video, I'm trying to check on it. But just quinoa is done. And as you can see, it's completely melted because it's cooked already, so you don't have to do anything. So since this is Ray's portion, Ray, you tell me when you want me to stop pouring. More?
Sure.
You want the whole thing? Ray's eating it.
Calorie.
Yeah, all right. Ray's gonna eat the whole thing. I think the package says that it's a serving size is 2. So For guys, you probably eat the whole thing. Females want to split it. And of course, this was one piece of salmon, so he's getting the whole thing. And that juice in there from the water actually adds flavor. You can add a little salt if you want to. The quinoa has its own salt. But if it's not salty enough for you, feel free to add more seasoning to it. But there you go. That took about 10 minutes. I know it's hard to tell with the cutting of the video, but it was super quick, easy meal that you can make without having to, you know, be a chef or anything. But that's it. Hope you enjoy.